Thanks for tuning in to the Lean 911 podcast, where you'll have a voice directly from the Gemba. I will rely on my 3 decades of Lean successes as well as my failures to answer your most challenging questions regarding your Lean transformation. I'm your host, Mark DeLuzio, President and CEO of Lean Horizons Consulting and the Principal Architect of the Danaher Business System. Looking forward to your questions. Now, let's go to the Gemba. Hi, I'm Mark DeLuzio, and welcome to episode 27 of the Lean 911 podcast. The Japanese, when they came to America and started doing business here, noticed something about American management. They noticed, they used a word called GAN. Boy, there's a lot of GAN in American business. And GAN translated into English from Japanese is cancer. And they said, gee, the more GAN that you have within your organization, the more it's going to eat the host and kill the host, right? And they couldn't understand sometimes the lack of harmony, the lack of teamwork, the political games that got played in American organizations. So they used this word called GAN. Well, that gave us the idea here at Lean Horizons to come up with a new product. And if you're watching on YouTube, great. If you're not, I'm holding up a can right now of high pressure air spray, and it's called GAN-AWAY. Okay. Blow away the cancer in your company. Blow away the GAN. So this invention is tested and proven to work. I'll be offering you at the end of this episode the opportunity to purchase a can of GAN-AWAY. So what do you use it for? Well, do you have a tyrannical leader who's disrespecting you? Pretty simple. All you got to do, GAN-AWAY. Okay, this stuff works. Let me tell you. How about you leaders out there who have a bunch of tyrannical employees who think they could do your job better than you can? Okay, and are trying to, undercut you and basically put you out of business. Well, guess what? You can use it on them too. GAN-AWAY. It works. Okay. How about those leaders who say, yeah, we're doing lean, but we don't have time for Kaizen? Guess what? GAN-AWAY. Works every time. What about those people who want to come into your lean transformation and replace the whole transformation with something like Six Sigma, theory of constraints, demand flow technology? There's a bunch of them out there, right? And totally upset the apple cart in terms of the progress that you've been making. Guess what? GAN-AWAY. We had that at Danaher, by the way. People coming in and wanting to change the face of what DBS was all about. Okay. How about those academics that write about the Gemba, but never step foot in the Gemba? They write it from their ivory tower, from their educational ivory tower. But they will argue with you that Gemba isn't spelled Gemba, G-E-M-B-A, it's Genba, G-E-N-B-A, because they want to give you the insight of how intimate they are with the Japanese culture, even though I've probably never been to Japan either, okay? Well, those academics are a waste of time. And guess what? GAN-AWAY, right? It works. Blow them out of your existence. Now, these same people might be writing books on lean that are 400 pages long. Think about it. How could you have a book on lean that's that long? 400 pages. Guess what? GAN-AWAY, right? What about healthcare consultants? All the people that specialize lean in healthcare. And they'll talk to you about the productivity of an MRI department. We put through 50 more patients per day in an MRI, and we reduce patient waiting time and satisfaction and all that. Now, that's all good stuff. Don't get me wrong. But what about those healthcare professionals, and I met many of them, who refuse to acknowledge that the healthcare industry, at least in the United States, needlessly kills 500,000 people a year, and those are CDC numbers, those aren't my numbers, 100,000 to unneeded infections in that number. But they fail to acknowledge that that industry needlessly kills people because of malpractice. Okay? Guess what? I have no time for hearing about their productivity successes when they ignore that. So guess what? Gone away. Okay? How about those leaders who say, yeah, we can't do standard work until we solve some of our problems? It's kind of like saying, geez, doctor, I can't, go to physical therapy till my shoulder gets better. What about those leaders? Guess what? Gone away. And what about the leaders who refuse to give their employees a no layoff guarantee due to Kaizen improvements? And then they turn around and say, geez, our employees aren't engaged and they're not able to solve problems at the lowest level. Geez, why is that? Guess what? Gone away. Okay. And what about leaders who lay off tens of thousands of their employees and have the nerve to call it lean? And alongside of that, they take multi-million-dollar bonuses, okay, and pat themselves on the back. Guess what? Gone away. Okay. This is all a little bit of tongue-in-cheek humor, right? And we probably have seen a lot of what I just fooled around about here with GAN-AWAY. Okay, I wish it was that easy that we can just spray away the GAN, if you will, but it's not that easy, right? And I guess the message is, don't look for a silver bullet. There's a lot of consultants out there trying to repackage stuff. There's a lot of people out there who wants to become the next Deming or the next Ono or the next Joran. Do yourself a favor. Go back to the fundamental basics. Do the basics. They work. Remember Vince Lombardi, who took this really decrepit Green Bay Packer team that had future Hall of Famers in it. And his first practice was, gentlemen, he held up a football and he said, gentlemen, this is a football. And he started from there with the basics of tackling, the basics of blocking, passing, all the fundamentals. He would probably throw up today if he saw the West Coast offense or the shotgun or any of those old new techniques, right? And what did he do? I think he won 11 championships, I think, something like that. Anyway, the basics work, okay? Don't look for a silver bullet. The basics work. So anyway, I'm here to offer GAN-AWAY, a can of GAN-AWAY. If you call 1-800-FAKE-LEAN and give your credit card for $19.95, it's an introductory offer within the next hour. We'll even throw in a second can for another $50, okay? Now, I know your Six Sigma guys out there are figuring that out already, but I'm not sure about everybody else, right? So anyway, do the basics, have some fun, and hopefully you'll think about the GAN in your company and try to get that GAN away. Okay, see you next time. Episode 27, basic humor. That's why I call it basic humor, because we talk about the basics. And GAN-AWAY. We want to get rid of the GAN. That's a big waste in our companies, and we don't need it. Take care. See you next time. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to the Lean 911 podcast. I'll be happy to address your questions or feedback on future episodes. Email me at mark@lean911.com. You can check out our other episodes by visiting our website at lean911.com, our YouTube channel, wherever you listen to podcasts. This is your host, Mark DeLuzio. Thanks for listening.